Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Soviet Tier 10 medium tank, the T62a. Now this is a tank that actually got buffed a very long time ago, actually back in March, and it's actually a tank that's never been on the channel before. And that's because I bought it a long time ago and basically never played it. Because like the 140, the Russian mediums weren't really my cup of tea. I preferred Alpha over the raw DPM. So like the 430U was just straight up my alley, whereas something like the T62a and the 140 just weren't. And out of the two, the 140 was the better of the two for a very long time. Not quite the case these days, and that's because of the buff that this tank got. What is way back in March, and that is the buff the reload from 6.6 to 6.3, which makes this tank have just insane reload. You're seeing right now 4.4 seconds with the food boost, which is just, it's nuts on a Russian medium tank. The difference between this and the 140 is that the 140 has better mobility, realistically, and this tank has just slightly better hull armor and definitely a better turret, like, because the 140 has cupolas that you can pen, although it's Soviet armor, it just tends to go Russia da and just not get penned anyway. The gun is accurate, the mobility is decent, the DPM is great. I'd probably say this is one of the best Soviet medium tanks at tier 10, possibly. My personal opinion, I think it is. There's a lot of competition out there because there's the T62a, the 140, the 430, the 907, the T22 medium. And since the T22 medium and the 907 got buffed, they're a lot better, a lot more competitive. K91... 430U, you know, there's so many Russian medium tanks, and they're absolutely insane. And you're seeing why the DPM on this tank is nuts, right? This poor IS-4 has just been, I saw him coming, I saw him YOLO and was like, I need to track this guy. We need to track him, stop him in his tracks, and he's burnt his repair kit. That was brutal. That poor guy, that was brutal for that poor guy. Because we managed to track him in a place where I could also pen him. And we managed to take his whole health and just laugh. Now, what sort of crew do I run on the T62a, right, to get this sort of DPM? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Run and Gun, Steady Aim, Track Mechanic, Camouflage Expertise, and Muffled Shot. Now, obviously, the Born Leader and the Rapid Reload will give you that fantastic DPM and help you along with the rammer. You could even make it better if you run vents, but I don't run vents because I run rammer, optics, and a camouflage net, because the camo on this tank is actually fantastic, and you can make it just ridiculous if you run the camo net and the skills. So that's what I like to do, because you can make it stealthy and then you can just be in a great position to farm up with the DPM and not get spotted. But we've been spotted for most of this game because we've been in a very aggressive position and we've managed to just pump out 6k damage, 871 assistant, shut down the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen there, and we're in a position to get up to get another shot into the C75. We shut down the E75 and now there's only 3 tanks left. We're up to 6k damage. There is this defender over here. We managed to snap a shot on the move. This is why I don't run vertical stabilizers on this tank, because this tank has great gun handling and you don't really need it, to be honest. So I run the camo net. Like I say, you could drop the camo net if you're not that bothered about the camo, and you could run a traction system to get your mobility better, to be like a 140. Because you run the traction system on this tank, you get up to 55 kilometers an hour, which is the base speed of a 140, because it only has a 50 kilometer an hour top speed. So you could do that, or you could run vents and make your DPM even better and make everything about the tank better. There's a lot of options you could do. So right here, we are currently farming this T57 Heavy. I'm not bothered about the defender that popped up and shot me. To be honest, I was expecting the defender to get shot if he tried it. Because the T57 Heavy is reloading, I wanted to get rid of the T57, because the T57 obviously is a viciously deadly tank if you leave it alone, and I wanted to get rid of that guy. Unfortunately, we don't quite get another shot into the defender. Up to 7.6k damage. Swindle kills the light tank, and there's just the heavy tank left who gets finished off. We finished that game with 7.6k damage, 968 assistance. A really nice game for the T62a. It's an absolute beast, actually, to be honest. Like, we finished with the Ace Tanker, Brothers in Arms, Confederate, High Caliber, Sniper, 630 base XP. That's it. This tank is a beast, but I still don't really prefer it to the 430U. And that's not because it's worse than the 430U. To be honest, I think this tank's better than the 430U these days. I just prefer Alpha. I'm an Alpha whore. And I do and probably always will prefer tanks that have higher Alpha than tanks with incredible DPM. And I think that's because I'm always the way that I'll take a risk to get shots. And I always will. And I'll probably end up taking hits. And I tend to die a lot because I do that. I just take unnecessary risks, really, sometimes. And I get shots out. When you've got the higher Alpha, it doesn't matter as much because you can take a risk, possibly bounce something or not get shot at, pop up, blap someone for 750, pull back, and you're alright. When you're in a higher Alpha tank, you feel like you've got to maximise and use that DPM right sometimes. And you end up getting yourself into trouble just because you overexpose yourself a little bit too much for too long because you fire in and then fire again and then fire again. That's just the way it is. And I've always preferred Alpha, though, and that's just me. So these Russian mediums with 320 Alpha aren't always my playstyle, but it is what it is. It is an absolute beast of a tank, and everything about it is fantastic. So the mobility's decent. It's not the best at 50, but it's not bad, considering the M48 pattern, for example, is 45. The gun's absolutely incredible. The DPM's incredible. The camouflage is great. It's just a very, very good all-rounder. And it's well worth unlocking. And like I said, I think out of the lot of the Russian mediums, I'd say this is the first one you want to think about unlocking. Like I say, it used to be the 140. It's now this tank for sure. So, we're on the second game, and we're on Westfield. We've taken the aggressive spotting location, and unfortunately we're starting to get tagged from the guys up there like the Progetto because of that yellow T49 that spotted us. But now the yellow T49's gone, we're unspotted, and we're going to be able to use this position to very good effect to spot up their team and just farm as much as we can. Because of all these bushes and the great camo on this tank, we can actually use the positions to spot out and then fire, pull back behind the bushes, fire, and not get spotted all that often, which is great. So we're pushing up here, and we actually end up getting spotted by the Centurion Action 10 just above us. I'm just going to pull back so I'm hull down against him and then try and get some more shots in, but he ends up getting absolutely wrecked. We're up 1,666 assistance and 2.1k damage, and I want to pull up to this ridge line in front of me because that saves me from anything in the base and saves me, well, it puts me under the gun line of where this TD is. I am being very cautious of this Progetto 65 behind me because if he decided to turn around and just dump his clip into me, well, that'd be curtains for me. It wouldn't be very good because I've only got 1,000 health. He's got like a 1,200 clip. Yeah, it won't be very good. So I want to get rid of this Progetto 65 so that my behind is clear so I can attack the north. Now you're seeing the wicked gun handling of this tank. We've got barely anything of that Progetto, and we managed to slam all 3 shots into him and absolutely wreck his day. Finish him off, and now our rear is safe, which is always good. You always want to have a safe rear. And we are now focusing on what's in front of us. We're spotting all these TDs, which is good, number 1. And number 2, that means that all our friends behind us will be feeding us some juicy assistance. Now, a Jagdpanzer. I'm actually quite happy to sit in front of a Jagdpanzer's gun with a T62a turret, because the turret on the T62a is absolutely fantastic. This T95, we're spotting up. We're getting all the assistance for him. I'm just waiting for him to get blapped and die. We have got the heat in, because we can pen the superstructure of the Jagdpanzer and just keep the pressure upon him. Unfortunately, we get slapped in the side of the turret by the Leopard 1, who decided to come focus and look at us, which is sad. But it is what it is, and we're now in a position where we can just see the top of this superstructure of this Jagdpanzer, and we can just slam the heat in. Sad days for the Jagdpanzer. When they did their tanks reforged for the Jagdpanzer line, they should have buffed the superstructure of that tank. And by that, I would have made it so that the superstructure is like 350 effective or something like that, 360, I don't know. Basically, so that the Jagdpanzer's upper hull armour, it's still got the cupola that could be penned if you're slightly above it. You've still got the lower plate that's garbage and you can pen the lower plate. And make it so that basically nobody could do what I just did to that Jagdpanzer, where I just loaded Prem and it was like, well, you have armour, but I have an A button and I have premium, therefore I completely wreck your poor tank. And I just made it so it's like that, you know. But it is what it is. Unfortunately, we've been tagged again by that leopard a bit ago. That means we're a one-shot. We've got to be careful now. We're up to 4.7k damage, 3.5k assistance. And because of that leopard, I know that I have to be careful. If I put one foot wrong, make one misstep, I'm out of this game. We're on for a really nice game already. They are pushing the north where our spawn is, but we don't really have to worry about that all that much. What I want to try and do is catch them while they're stuck in the low ground, because like you're going to see, we're going to be able to get shots into them like this IS-7 here as he's crossing, and that is a great opportunity to get some damage. But we don't have to worry about it all that much, because it's not standard battle, it's team destruction, so they don't have to cap. We don't have to worry about defending the cap. We can just try and make the most of them in vulnerable positions, which is what I'm trying to do. With the I-7 being where he is, that is a vulnerable position because he's going to be worrying about tanks in front of him, and if we can get into a good position, we're able to get shots into the back of him, and if he wants to get shots at us, well, he's going to have to expose himself to the rest of our friends. So we pull up here, we get a nice shot into the back of the I-7, and this is where our camo is going to be helping us against the I-7. I mean, it doesn't have that good a view range, but you can see because of the bushes and stuff, and the fact that we've probably got the camo net and the perks, he can't spot us, so we managed to farm him up. We set him on fire and managed to finish him off. Now, we're hull down against the M48 120mm there, so it's quite safe. Unfortunately for us, in terms of getting damage, he ended up getting absolutely wrecked, but we did get a lot of spotting on him, and then we managed to get another lot of spotting on the back chat, which is nice. We get detected there, and it's like, okay, that's the leopard. Pop one shot him. I am currently hull down because he can't see anything but the turret. We get another shot into him, and fortunately enough, the M60 managed to shut down the leopard. We're up to 6.8k damage, 5.2k assist, and there's one tank left, and we know where he is. He's over there on the AB line. We're just trying to get into a position without killing ourselves so we can try and get a shot at him. So I imagine he's got to A0 and he's hiding in the corner in the buildings, and we're just YOLOing towards the corner, hoping that we manage to get to spot him or get a shot in. But he's actually not there, but he actually is there. It was kind of like, wait, no one's spotted this back chat yet. Maybe he isn't there. Maybe he's run away up north. But yeah, he was there. He was hiding behind the building, and we managed to get that game finished off. We finished with 5 kills, 6.8k damage, 5.2k assistance. That is a lot of combined. Ace tanker, high caliber, 1900 base XP, and like 12k combined, which is a really great game for the T62a. One of the best Russian medium tanks there is at tier 10. It's fantastic. It's well worth the first tank unlock out of the 3. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!